Minecraft's best mod just got a lot better. The mod is called Voxy, and it just received a major update. So I have quantified a bunch of stuff to see how much better it is. Number 1, time to load a 8,000 block radius world. Number 2, FPS at Y equals 8,000 with the world fully loaded. Number 3, how does it look when zooming in at stuff from really far away? And number 4, the storage size on file. But with that, let's get started with number 1. So with that, here we are in the old Voxy, and let's get going with our first category. So here we are on Voxy 0.6, and let's open this world. In a second it loads. Here we go, timer. Let's see how long this takes. I'm gonna guess about 5 or 6 seconds, and 6 seconds. Let's see how long exactly that was. So now let's go compare it to the modern version of Voxy, which is now out on Modrons. Go download it. Okay, so here we are in 2.0, and as you can see, the new Voxy has absolutely smoked the old Voxy with a time of approximately 6 times faster at just 1. And you can probably also notice I'm using the same world seed to eliminate as many differences as I can in the testing, because like if one seed has like a lot more water, that's like a lot lower terrain, therefore it would be like a lot less, you know, even. Like if one had like way higher terrain, it would take longer to load because it's like more blocks to load. So I tried to make them the same world, and it seems like it worked because they look pretty similar to eliminate any differences. And just a heads up, this mod is actually still in its alpha phase of development. That means that there's probably going to be bugs and possible crashes. So if you play this mod, you can expect it, and it currently only works for 1.21.6. I assume backward compatibility is coming, but I have not heard back from the creator yet. So just a heads up that it is still in alpha. Whoops, broke my green screen there. Yeah, you didn't see that. Anyway, yeah, still in alpha. Also, you should subscribe, and let's get on with the rest of our video. On with the video. Okay, so the next thing to do is to turn on the FPS by hitting F3 and just wait for it to stabilize. So I'll just like wait a minute or so. So it looks like we're getting around 205 FPS with it sped up a fair bit from normal speed. Okay, so here we are in the new Voxy, and yeah, that's a lot more FPS than the other version. Though I also do notice that the memory usage on the right is a fair bit higher than in the other Voxy 1.6. So if you are limited by memory, which I am not, thankfully, Adobe uses a lot, so I actually have a fair bit of RAM on my system. And yeah, as you can see, we have lots of more FPS, and this is only 8,000 chunks, so you could probably actually do this with a pretty budget system, which means that even budget systems can run insanely large worlds now. Why Microsoft can't do this themselves and we need some random mod creator to do this, I don't know, but it's still amazing that we have this mod. Go download it, it's in the description. Okay, so the next thing that I have to test is what it looks like when stuff is far away. So I'm just going to use Zoomify, or another generic zoom mod, to zoom in, and as you can see blocks with like actual textures, which I feel is better than Distant Horizons, but that's a village, for example. You can see what it is, but you can't really make out like any details about it. So let's like see, we can see a desert temple. We can't see any, there's not really a desert temple. You can see that there's, I think, a mesa there because like that red clay. But yeah, you can see some details, but you can't actually make out too much of it. But with that, let's just try and find an ocean monument, since everyone knows how big Ocean Monuments is. That was a pillager outpost right there. There's a mushroom island. So as you can see, stuff, it looks like it's just made of like 3 or 4 blocks, which is how the LODs work. I think it like goes from a 16 by 16 block chunk to like an 8 by 8 to a 4 by 4 to a 2 by 2 or 1 by 1. I don't know exactly how, but let's see how it looks with the new Voxy. Okay, so here we are in Voxy, and as you can notice, this is one of the bugs I mentioned earlier. It seems that really shallow water, like 1 or 2 blocks deep, kind of like vanishes when you're really zoomed out. But as you can see, when I zoom in, that's still 1 for 1. You can perfectly tell that's a room portal, and that's like 6,000 blocks away, which is absolutely crazy for Minecraft. And that's one of the best things about this new Voxy, is that scaling stuff or whatever. It's, I don't know what it's called. And this is what we saw earlier, that was a mesa, and there was a desert temple that I couldn't see last time. And let's just go find some of the other stuff. There's that mushroom island I mentioned earlier, and then there's the village, as you can see, and the ruined portal, and you can all see them all perfectly, except for the stairs. Those are a little bit messed up, but again, this is a mod in alpha, which means it's still being worked on, which means these problems will probably get fixed. But yeah, now let's give us some side-by-side photos of places with the old Voxy and without it, just to show how much better it is when you can zoom in on it. I will be in the same spot for both of the photos. Okay, so as you can see, the difference between size in Voxy 1.6 and 2.0 is actually the opposite of the trend we've been seeing so far today. And that is Voxy 1.6 actually has a slightly smaller file size than Voxy 2.0, which is interesting because it is different from everything, but I guess there's probably some sort of reason. I'll see if Cortex can have an explanation for that. Okay, so now on to just some other things, like miscellaneous things that have been changed. So as you can see, there's obviously the zoom function, which I love so much. It makes looking at stuff that's far away way more fun and a lot easier, especially with these like really large worlds. And so there was another issue in the old one, so this is a new one. I've slowed it down to 20 speed, and yeah, I only record in 30 FPS, so it looks really choppy. That's my bad. I'm not going to really apologize though, because I don't want like all my video files like being like 30 gigabytes when they're long. But as you can see, it's pretty choppy, but you can see that there's no like cutting at the edge of the screen. This was a problem in the old 1.6 Voxy, which as you can see on the edge of the screen when I'm changing direction, there's like chopping and cutting. And I'm really happy that that's fixed. It also happened when you were zooming out and in. It wasn't super noticeable, but it was noticeable enough where you could notice it. Wait. Anyway, you know what I mean, but let's just go over some other cool things. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is shader support. So in the old Voxy, the only one that really worked was BSL, and because 1.21.6 is so new, BSL isn't in there. So I just picked these four, which are like four of the top ones in Voxy or like 1.21.6 shaders, and let's see if they work. It looks like this first one does not work as the Voxy chunks are not loading. And I would not be surprised if this happens because shader support is technically possible for some. I know BSL works, but I'm also pretty sure it is not like guaranteed, or it's not like a high priority to Cortex. So when BSL comes out and you really like shaders, I might hold off on downloading this mod until BSL comes out, because I know that one works. But let's try a render Pearl. And oh wow, that broke spectacularly. That's actually impressive. It is just broken. That's a new one. It's all black. Well, I guess I can say that one doesn't work. And now let's go try rethinking voxels. This one's never worked. It's always kind of had a little bit of problems with like the newer Voxies. Oh, whoa. That's also pretty broken. So yeah, looks like these four shaders don't work. I would expect BSL to work in the future. But that's really it for this video. Again, remember this mod's in beta. If you want to download it, it's linked in the description on Modrinth. And if you have more questions about it, you could either join my Discord and ask me. I can't guarantee I'll know the answer. Or you can also join Cortex's Discord and ask her. She has her own Discord, also linked in the description under the like talking bit of the description. But with that, you can go join those two Discords if you have questions, just want to talk or need help. But with that, that's all I have for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, you should join my channel. You get videos early and your name at the end.